the very tough sometimes lessons of leadership inside your own business is pretty much the most essential requirement for having a peaceful, profitable, and predictable business that sustains over time. Welcome back. This is the Kelly Roach Show, and today we're talking about the not so secrets of an ultra high performance team. Now, for me, I have loved being a part of high performance teams my entire life. When I was young, it was cheerleading. As I got older in middle school and high school, it was my competitive dance team. Then it was my cheerleading team in high school, going to semi-nationals, nationals, All-American All-Star, Philadelphia Eagles cheerleading, and then building my team in my first corporate job, which ended up being the championship team of all championship teams that broke pretty much every record in the company's history for growth. And we did that over a period of many years stringed together back to back. It was not a fluke. It was not a season. It wasn't even just a couple years. It was for a long run of many years tied together. So I love being a part of high performance teams. I love being on high performance teams. I love leading high performance teams. And when I came into the entrepreneurial world in 2012, I was literally shocked beyond belief because I saw no one speaking about building high performance teams in an entrepreneurial company. And to take it a step further, I saw almost nothing that I could find about team building within small businesses at all. Like, forget the high performance part. Let's just talk about information, education, resources to help small business owners to learn how to attract, retain, develop a talent management system within their companies. And so I've been on this journey since 2012 of not only building my own teams inside of my own companies, but really trying to convey the critical nature of learning the skills of team management, attraction, talent development, and retention to the entrepreneurial market, because I don't see a way around it if you want to have freedom and flexibility in your life. And when I began on this Kairos journey a little over a year ago now, and really decided that I was going to step forward with my faith. I was going to make faith the centerpiece of helping people to build multi-million-dollar businesses that also glorified God, that also allowed them to lead with their values, that also allowed them to give back in meaningful ways. I couldn't help but notice that this theme of team was one of the biggest things that the most talented and highest potential entrepreneurs kept hitting up against a ceiling with. And I think that when we talk about mental load, capacity building, uncapping your own glass ceiling, learning the very tough sometimes lessons of leadership inside your own business is pretty much the most essential requirement for having a peaceful, profitable, and predictable business that sustains over time, right? Because yes, you can run a small business by yourself. Yes, you can do it all. You can be it all. You can keep your costs really low. You can keep your business really simple. But so many people that take that route because they've struggled with team end up right back where they started, where they're making less money than they did in their corporate job. They're working longer hours because, let's be honest, there is no one else to do the work besides you. And they find themselves constantly depleted because there's no relief, right? But then there's another category of entrepreneurs that got the memo about team. Like, you got the memo about team. You know you need a team. You have a team. You have built a team. But you are constantly frustrated with that team. You're constantly feeling like that team is disappointing you. You're constantly feeling like that team is not performing at the level that they could be or there should be. Or maybe you're in a third category where you feel like you have to push the boulder literally up the hill every single week with your team. You feel like you need to have your hands in everything. You have to be a part of every conversation. You have to be constantly motivating and pushing and poking and prodding and investigating. And it's just not what you want. And I think the big shame for so many people in the world of entrepreneurship is they've never had the positive experience of being on a really high performance team to feel what that energy feels like. And so you're chasing after this mirage that you've never experienced for yourself. You're going for this goal that you realize cognitively, consciously is important, but you don't have any grounds for, deep belief in this thing. And the only experience that you have is maybe not the most positive one. And this is where you have to be a visionary, right? And this is where you have to remember that you have to be a little bit delusional to build an empire, because you have to be able to imagine things very differently than how they are now in order to be able to create what it is that you desire to create. It requires imagination. It requires delusion. It requires you being able to vision something that is completely detached from current reality and then create a strategy and enroll people in that vision to go out and create it, right? So we have the next Kairos experience coming up. It's kicking off very, very soon. If you haven't registered already, I need you to stop what you're doing. You must be there. You must be at the Kairos Live Experience. It's March 11th through 13th, 12 p.m. Eastern each day. It is a do not miss. You cannot have this conversation anywhere else in the online space. It will blow your mind. It will change your business. It will set you on a new trajectory for the rest of your life. You got to be there. So pause the episode, get yourself registered. I'm going to give you a second now. Get yourself registered. I'll see you March 13th for the Kairos Live Experience. But this is what we're talking about, right? Because to elevate your life to 100x of what you're experiencing now. And for some of you, it's financial. For some of you, it's taking back your time. For some of you, it's having joy. For some of you, it's having time for self-care. For some of you, it's relationships. It's different for every person. But you have to be the visionary. And part of a visionary, being a great visionary that is able to do extraordinary things, is that you can move extraordinary bodies of people in a common direction, with a common purpose, with a common goal, right? And this goes hand in hand with the conversation that we've been having here on the show about capacity building, because you have to expand your capacity to be able to manage more people, more dynamics, more energies, more emotions, right? And it's the stability of the leadership team and the stability of the leader that then pours the energy of consistency into the performance of the team. So show me a team that's erratic and sporadic and unpredictable in their performance. I'll show you a leader that's erratic and sporadic and unpredictable in their performance. And most of the time, us leaders, we think that it's the team being erratic and sporadic and unpredictable in their performance. And in reality, all they're doing is mirroring us, right? So I realized this a couple years ago and have been working so hard on myself as a leader to understand that I have to manage the energy of how I interact with people publicly, in private meetings, small meeting, big meeting, whatever it is, because that energy, whether you want it to be or not, is what's going to be perpetuated. And, I get this question from people all the time, like, how do you be real with your team when you need to do better and also maintain this like high energy, inspiration, all of those things? And I would challenge you to think about it the way you think about a sports coach, right? If an athletic coach is supporting their team and they're having a game and they're doing horribly, right? They're not like, yay, keep going, you got this, this is wonderful, don't worry, Sally, right? No, they're not. They're like, come on, let's pick it up. Like, we got this, you can do better. Like, turn it around, pick it up, right? you can both be charged in your energy towards improvement, towards action, towards elevation, and you can also be encouraging and positive simultaneously. You can be clear that you and your team are not where they need to be yet, and also motivating in the delivery of how you enroll them in committing to get the rest of the way, right? And so this is where capacity building comes in, because most leaders don't have the ability to put their own emotions aside, to put their own fears, their insecurity, their stress, their anxiety down, and be able to ask themselves, what is the thing in this moment, in this relationship, in this dynamic with my team that is going to yield that next level of enrollment, commitment, purpose, focus, and action from them? Two different things. And this is not about being fake. This is not about being fake. This is about you understanding human psychology and showing up as a leader in a way that is going to be effective in conveying the outcome and the emotion and the energy that needs to be conveyed in order to enroll and up level, right? And a lot of people have one setting. It's like however they feel is exactly what is being conveyed to the team. And this is also why companies, and I hear so much crap about this and I'm so sick of it, quite frankly. Everyone complains all the time about how bad corporate is and how bad things are in big companies and all of this and that. Well, guess what? The billion-dollar strategies that these big companies use, if your small business even took a fraction of the things that these companies do unbelievably well every single day, your business would explode. The reason why there's a hierarchy of leadership inside companies is so that complexity can be held at the top, so that people on the ground floor can focus on execution and people in the middle can manage the message. And there's a whole dynamic to this relationship of what is the conversation at different levels in a company that is so important for you as a leader to understand. And it's why you need your levels of team, right? Your production staff, your mid-level management, your executive leadership, because you need to be able to have the conversation with your right-hand person about the brutal details of what is happening play by play and what you're going to do about it. You then need to get the enrollment and the help of the person at a management level that is going to have to lead the team to success on this and get them enrolled, right? And then they need to be able to convey the message in a meaningful way to the people on the ground floor to go out and execute. These are three completely different conversations that are happening. So when you look at the secrets of ultra high performance teams, one, obviously, they're going to have really tough gatekeeping about who gets in, and they're going to move really quickly on getting the wrong people out. And that's the first principle that I'm going to give you, right? You're tough about who makes it in, and you are aggressive as hell about getting the wrong people out. And I will tell you, I have made more mistakes than you can count on both sides of that. I've been far too loose and far too quick, quite frankly, in bringing people into my organization. And I've been far too slow in getting the wrong ones out. And let me tell you, I paid for it mightily. I paid for it over and over and over again. I think I've learned my lesson. But I will tell you, that lesson will keep on chasing you. It'll keep on chasing you until you learn it. And it will keep chasing you because you have to learn it. And it's going to keep biting you and it's going to keep costing you until you learn it. So strong gatekeeping on who you're letting in, really fast movement on who you need to get out, right? And then the rituals, right? And we did a show recently. I did a show very recently on these 8-figure secrets, and we talked about rituals, cadence, consistency, all of that. So I'm not going to go into that again here. But again, there's process. There's process. There is routine. There is a systematic approach. And I think that a lot of companies, especially in the entrepreneurial space, they have a systematic approach to what they're doing outside facing, front facing, sales and marketing. They do not have a systematic approach to retention, renewals, upsells, referrals. And that's why so many business owners are so burnt out all the time, because they're just in quicksand. and they can't keep up with the quicksand, right? So process, organization, right? High performance teams have a lot of diversity in them. Diversity on every level you could possibly think of. But the diversity of background, skill set, and perspective, the disagreement on things and unique perspectives are absolutely essential, because no one of us can be strong in everything that a company needs in order to thrive at a high level, right? So when you look at your team, you have to be so brutal when you assess the talent that you have and say, what's missing and what's needed for us to function optimally across the board in all 5 categories of the business: sales, marketing, operations, client delivery, and finance. What do you need? Where is your biggest blind spot? Where are you at risk, right? So process, systems, right? Assessing the gaps, making sure that you're diversifying talent so that you can really cover your blind spots and mitigate risk, right? And then it is the culture. And culture many times is driven by the emotional capacity of the leadership team. I brought in one time someone that, I won't go into details. I brought in someone at a very high level in one of my organizations once that I ended up having to fire. I actually received copies of audio messages that this person had sent to team members, bullying them, threatening, all sorts of things. I had to get on Zoom and apologize to a huge team of mine in front of everyone. I had to fire the person, obviously. But that person single-handedly destabilized the culture in my company for a period of time. And because that person reported to me, people thought that I was in support of this behavior until they realized I wasn't in support of this behavior, because I fired the person as soon as I got, wind of what was going on. But there was definitely a time where they thought I was in support of this because the person reported to me. So, what we tolerate, we perpetuate, which is why creating open loops for communication in the organization is so key. Had I not gotten those audio messages from the team, then I couldn't have fired the person, and they probably would have destroyed my company, quite frankly. Everyone would have left. So, you have to be so careful, because you may have the capacity, but do the people reporting to you have the capacity? And I've made that mistake so many times where I've promoted for potential. There's no need to promote someone for potential. There is no need to promote someone for potential, because if they have the potential, then they'll be doing the thing already without the title, and you'll be promoting them for something that they're already doing. And when I look back on my career, and when I look back on all of the opportunities I was given, I proved myself first. I did the work first. I got promoted afterwards. I got promoted after the results were there. I have made the mistake many times in my own businesses of promoting for potential. I will not do that anymore. I will promote for real results, for actual results. Because again, if the person has the potential, then they should be demonstrating that potential. You shouldn't need to do a guess and test with promoting someone in your organization, because there's so much risk there. Because again, maybe you've worked really hard, maybe you've developed your capacity to lead at a high level, but then you promote someone in your organization that's between you and your staff. And if they don't have that capacity, not only are they going to slow the whole company down, but they're going to really impinge on the culture, and they're going to hold the whole team and the whole company back. Okay. So when we think about high performance teams, great culture, strong leadership, lots of diversity, process orientation, right? Cadence, systems, there's predictability, right? Constant, never-ending improvement, not just focusing on the front end of the business, but also on the back end, right? These are all the things that great companies are made of, right? And I want to really explore the world of capacity with all of you, and I want to make sure that you sign up for the Kairos Live Experience, because your Kairos moment is now. I know so many of you, you know that there's something still in the future for you. You know there's a new era that you're being called forward to. You know there's something more. You know there's a reinvention, there's a reimagination, there's a relaunch waiting for you, and I want to help you to get there. So sign up for the Kairos Live Experience. I can't wait to see you there. This is new stuff. It's great stuff. It's going to change your life. Make sure you scroll down in the show notes and join. I'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening to the Kelly Roach Show. If you enjoyed this episode, do me 2 solids. Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review so other people can find the life-changing content that we share here. We're on our way to number 1, and we need your help getting there. Thanks so much for being a part of the community and for tuning into the show each and every week.